Good morning. I hope you're all doing well this morning. Today we're going to start off in Hero's Pose. You could use a block if you like. It's too windy for me today, so I can't use a block. But if you're going to use a block, just a side view of Hero, your knees are about hip width apart. You could place the block in between those feet, toes pointed behind you, and then sit down on your block. Without a block, just resting on your heels. Taking a deep inhale as you come up, reaching overhead, and exhale, bringing that right hand down and reaching over that left ear. Inhale as you come back up, and exhale, bringing it to the opposite side. So we'll do that a few times. Opening up those obliques. One more time on each side. And then coming to all fours, bringing your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. We're going to extend that left leg out to the side, flattening that foot, and then bringing that left hand in between that little window here, inhaling, and exhale as you reach up towards the sky. Firing up the core here. And hold it there. And then we'll switch sides. So extending that right leg out, flattening the foot, reaching through that little window with an inhale, and then exhale as you open up. And then hold it. Coming back to center. We're going to come into a modified plank. So shifting those knees back, keeping those hands underneath your shoulders, and lowering all the way down to the mat. To position your right elbow underneath your shoulder, pressing your palm into the mat, and stretching out those quadricep muscles. So depending what feels good for you, you could hold it here. If you wanted to press down on that foot, you could hold it here. Just breathing into your stretch. And then release and switch sides. And then release. We're going to shift back into child's pose here. Bringing those big toes to touch, releasing your forehead down to the mat, and taking a couple deep breaths here. Checking in with yourself this morning. Now making your way into your first down facing dog, reaching those hands forward, lifting your forearms off the bed, and then bringing those feet about hip width apart, lifting your hips up and back, pedaling those feet, spreading through your toes, extending through those arms. We're going to lift that right leg up into three-legged dog, bending the knee and opening up to the right. And then stepping forward with that right foot into a low lunge. Releasing that back knee down. Taking a deep inhale as we raise those arms overhead, interlacing your fingers and pointing up towards the sky. You could hold it here, release the shoulders down away from your ears. If you want it to come into a little back bend. Pressing that right big toe into the mat. And then release and step back into your dog. Holding it here, we're going to reach for that right thigh or that right calf with that left hand and open up into a little twist here. And then coming back center and then switching sides. And then coming back center, reaching that left leg up into three-legged dog, bending the knee and opening up to the left. And then stepping forward into a low lunge, releasing that right knee down and taking a deep inhale as we come up and reach up, interlacing those fingers, pointing up towards the sky, and then making your way into your low back bend. And then release, coming back to your downward facing dog. We're going to lift that right leg up into three-legged dog and then pull that knee in towards your forehead as you come into a high plank. We'll do that 2 more times. And then coming back up and then stepping forward into another low lunge. Reaching up overhead, releasing those shoulders down away from your ears. And then bringing those arms back behind you, interlacing those fingers or grabbing onto your forearms and opening up. You could come deeper into that little back bend as long as it feels okay for you. And then release from here, step back into your dog. We're going to lift that left leg up into three-legged dog, then pulling that knee in towards your forehead into a high plank. Repeating that 2 more times. Now stepping through into a low lunge. Raising those arms overhead and releasing those shoulders down. And then reaching back, doing exactly what you did on the opposite side. And then release, stepping back into your dog. Lowering your knees down to a child's pose here. Taking a couple deep breaths. And then making your way up to hero's pose once again. We're going to come into a camel pose. So again, you could use the block if you wanted to, keeping those heels up. You could place the block in between your heels, pressing your inner ankles in towards the block. So your knees are about hip width apart. So opening your heart forward and up, releasing those glutes a little bit as you shift your hips forward. You could press those thumbs into your sacrum here. You could hold it here. You could keep your chin tucked, or if you wanted to come up with that head up towards the sky. You can release your arms down and then grab onto your heels depending how you feel. And then coming back up to your lower back, sitting back into your hero's pose. Hands on your thighs, closing your eyes. Release the shoulders. Acknowledging how you're feeling. We're going to revisit camel one more time. If you don't want to revisit camel, you can take it back into your child's pose. So making your way into your camel. And then making your way out of camel and back into hero's pose. Hands are on top of your thighs and closing your eyes. Then we're going to sit back into child's pose. So we'll take it into a wider leg child's pose here. Bringing those big toes to touch. And releasing your forehead down to the mat. You your arms along your thighs. Settling into your mat. Namaste.